Now let's look at escape sequence. There are certain characters that are difficult to be represented as strings. Things like tab, things like new line, things like including a quote inside of strings. To handle this, we use the escape sequence. Now let's take a look at this example. Here we have result is equal to hello. There. Now let's say I want to put a tab in between hello and there. It will be difficult for me to do this. But with escape sequence, I can be able to do so. To do this, first, I'm going to have the backward slash. Then I'm going to provide a T. So this is the escape sequence for tab. So if you want to represent tab in your string, you use this sequence. Now let me print out the result. So here we have print result. If I run this program, you can see we have a tab. Now if I want to have a double tab, I'm going to have the backslash, then the T. Now if I run this program, we're going to have two tabs. We can also use the escape sequence to represent a new line. Let's say I want the hello to be in one line and I want the there to be in another line. To do this, I'm going to be using backward slash and N. So let me remove this. If I run this program, we're going to have hello in one line and there in another line. There's a space here, and this has to do with this space between the escape sequence for the new line and the there. So I'm going to be removing the space. Now, if I run this program, the space disappears. Now, let's say we want to have line 1, line 2, and line 3. So we can have something like line 1, line 2, and line 3. And I want all these things to be in different lines. So here I'm going to put the escape sequence for a new line. So this is going to push this into a new line. If I run this program, you can see that we'll have line 1, then line 2 and line 3 are in another line. Now, if I want to move line 3 to a new line, here I'm going to have new line. Then if I run this program, you can see that we'll have them in different lines. So if you want to introduce a new line, you use this escape sequence. Now let's say I want to introduce a quote inside of a string. I may want to have something like, how is everyone? Of course, this is a syntax error, and this has to do with introducing a quote inside of another quote. To fix this issue, I can either have a double quote here. If I run this program, it works well, but this is not what we intended to have. We wanted to have a single quote. To handle this, I'm going to put a backward slash and then provide a single quote. So this is an escape sequence for a quote inside of a quote. Now, if I run this program, it is going to work out well. Likewise, if I have double quote here and I have a double quote here. Now, let me change this to a double quote. We're going to have a syntax error. So I'm going to be escaping this quote using the backward slash. Now, if I run this program, it is going to work very well. So escape sequence allows us to introduce characters that ordinarily would have been difficult to be represented in strings.